in her Lifetime movie America premieres Saturday, February 28th at 9 p.m. And the best of the first season of The Rosie O'Donnell Show is out now on DVD, so go get it. So do you miss doing your talk show?
I do miss it, and I miss the crew and the cast, you know, it's not really a cast, I guess, but the staff.
You were the cast.
I guess. But, you know, when I see, like, John, your executive producer,
Yes.
and Kenny, our cameraman, every time I do a daytime show, I'm like, oh, there's my people.
Yeah.
I miss the people and knowing, like, they have babies and they get married, and that's what I miss, because there's a great sort of
like a
camaraderie.
family.
There's a family feeling.
Now, tell me about how you looked on your first show. Like, we're going to take a look at that.
Oh, great. There I am. Look at me with the orange hair. What was I thinking? I know.
I actually like that, though. You know, I'm doing blazers this season. Actually,
Are you?
Yes, inspired by you, Rosie.
Really? I'm a fashion trendsetter? Who knew?
Yes, you are.
Well, you know what's so funny? When I did the show, the only thing that I never pay attention to is my clothes and my makeup and hair, like how I look, which is your business. You know, you're good at that. You have the girl gene, you know. I'm missing that gene in some way. And we were working on the show, and they said, we need a fitting to get your clothes. I'm like, listen, you get me one suit, and you have it made in every color. And now I look back and go, boy, that was bad. But at the time, I didn't think it, you know.
I hate fittings like, oh, my God, my stylist is up. Oh, I cannot stand them. We made this, like, this bust of me so like they can fit on that, but then I lose weight and gain weight, so that doesn't work. Oh God, I hate a fitting just like you, honey. I understand.
Well, that is good to know, because I have this illusion that all of you girly, gorgeous model girls love it. You know?
Hell no.
Oh no, it's like my worst thing: hair, makeup, and clothes. I'm like, ugh. If I could wear sweats every day and just a bandana, I'd be happy.
Tell me how you felt when you, like, right before you walked out on the stage of that very first show. Were you nervous? Were you, what were you feeling?
From doing so many years of stand-up, I started doing stand-up when I was like 16 years old. So by the time I did that show, I was 35. I had almost 20 years experience in front of a live audience. That's a lot to fall back on. So I was a little bit nervous, but I played to the crowd. We had a crowd about this size, 177 seats, and it was like being in a comedy club. So I sort of just played to the crowd here, and then, you know, not really realizing it was going to millions of homes.
Yeah, I forget that all the time.
Yes, I did too.
I think I'm just talking to y'all.
Right, just whatever, say whatever you... Right. And then, you know, my life sort of changed dramatically in a week. You know, it was like I went from sort of being known and doing movies to where I would be in the mall and people would go, is that Rosie O'Donnell? You know, to being in the mall like, Rosie! You know, I was like, hey, why are you screaming? You know, and I remember being at a restaurant with some friends who were all big famous movie stars, and you know, people would come over to me and tap me and go, can you believe you're having dinner with Tom Hanks? And I'm like, I know, it's hard to believe, get the hell out of here. You know, I'm like the easy pass. You know, people think, oh, there's Rosie, I'll get in there, you know.
Who's the most famous person in your cell phone?
Madonna.
Madonna?
She's the most famous person, period, I think.
She is.
Right?
You guys hang out and stuff?
Yeah, you know, she's just moved back to New York with her kids, and so that's great, so we'll get to be able to hang out more.
So
we have
funny.
kids the same age.
Same age. I feel like Madonna's not real.
Really?
I feel like she's this, like...
icon. Yeah.
I feel like she doesn't go to the bathroom.
She does.
I feel like she goes to the bathroom.
I've seen her poop, not in the bathroom, but she's gone into the bathroom. No, when I was doing VH1 as a VJ, I remember that Bernhardt was very friendly with her, and I remember thinking to myself, how could you be friends with Madonna? It's like being friends with Elvis. How do you connect to her?
Exactly.
What do you say, you know? And then when I got League of Their Own, Penny called me in and said, Rosie, tomorrow you're gonna meet Madonna. If she likes you, she'll do the movie, try to be funny. And then I had diarrhea all night because I thought,
oh God,
how do you connect to her? But I had just seen Truth or Dare, and
I love that movie.
I did too. And she was the first woman that I met who had a similar situation to me. My mom died when I was a kid, as did hers, and I'm named after my mother, as is she.
Wow.
And so I don't know anyone else who's gone to their mother's grave and seen their own name.
Oh, Rosie, you just gave me goosebumps.
Yes,
just now.
so when I watched that movie, which was 2 days before Penny had said that to me, when she walked in, I said, listen, I saw your movie and my mom died, I'm named after her, and I totally get it. And right away, we were like sisters, you know? And so she's great, and she's a lot like a big sister that, you know, when I started having my hormone things, I'm like, what the hell is going on, send? You know? And then she's like, get the cream, send, you know?
Does she talk like that talk that she does in public to you? Does she say, Rosie, come over the house and our children can have a play date?
No, that sounds like Eartha Kitt right there. Catwoman, perfect. No, she doesn't really, you know? I think that when you're in the public eye to the level that she is, like that kind of stardom is like once a decade or once a generation.
Yeah, it is.
I think that it was interesting for me to do my first film with her because I got a taste of what it was like. It was almost like, you know, God saying, if you are successful, this is what will happen, and get ready, because, you know, I'd be in the elevator with her. We were doing that movie. She had black hair for the movie, and people would say right to her face, you know, I like your hair better blonde.
Yeah.
And I would be like, what the hell's going on?
How dare you?
You know?
How dare you? What's the rudest thing somebody has said to you in public?
Somebody has said to me, I don't want to insult you, but you look like Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
I'm like, that's a double insult because of her!
Now, one of your trademarks on your show, you actually were like the godmama of giving away free things to the audience.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't know that you're the one that started that. How did that come to be? Because,
well, you know, I think
and they're like, yeah, she did that.
Kids, we grew up on Long Island. We didn't have a mom. It was kind of a tough situation. And I remember one night my brother Danny called up WBLI radio station and he won a Bread CD. Remember that group Bread? You're too young.
I have no idea
I
what you're talking about.
found a diary underneath the tree. Remember this song?
No.
Okay, well, it's an old, from the early 70s.
Okay.
And he won this thing, and we could not believe it. And we all got in the car and went to the radio station to pick up the record. And I remember thinking, oh, my God, to win a record, you know? So then I got on my show, and I said to the Warner Brothers, the people who do your show, I said, well, I'd like to give away free stuff. They were like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, can we have T-shirts or... And so it started off small, and then it all got kicked off with Elmo, Tickle Me Elmo. My son was a newborn, he was almost a year, actually, and I got one at home in the store. I bought it, and he loved it. He would make it laugh, and he would lay on top of it and then laugh as it was jiggling him. And so I talked about it, and then they started selling. And then Fisher-Price called up and said, I can't believe you keep talking about it. We're going to give you $5 for each one sold. So I went, this is a great way to make money for charity. So whenever we would hold up something and it was something that I liked to give away, we would insist that they give an equal amount to some charity in the country. And it was a wonderful way to muscle people into giving.
So it was Tickle Me Elmo. Now what are you into?
Now I'm into a new toy called the Monies. Have you heard of this?
I have not heard of a money.
Okay, there's a company called Kid Robot, and it's this guy who was a child hacker when he was 16. He went to college. He's a genius. He's in his 40s. And my agent gave me this doll for Christmas. It's a white doll. It comes just this shape, pure white. And it comes with a marker. And then you can design it any way you want. It's $10, and in the box also is an accessory. So like Cracker Jacks, when you open up, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You could get a cell phone, you could get a hat, you could get shoes for him, and you draw it any way you want. Well, I became obsessed at Christmas. I probably have done 200 of these things. I drew this one on the way here in the car. No kidding.
Wait, you drew all that on
Yeah, I drew it, and then I signed it on the bottom.
Dang, Rosie, you're very talented.
Oh, thank you, Tyra. I have a lot of time to color.
No,
That's
look
what
at
it
that. No, Rosie, that looks like a computer did it. You know?
Really?
Like, it looks like...
No, that's me in the car with a Sharpie, like this, you know. And so then my friends said, well, why don't you sell them? I was like, where? So I went on this website, Etsy, and I put it up, and we're selling them for like $2.50 each. And then all the money goes to the new school that I just opened here in New York to help kids, underprivileged kids, study musical theater and learn about life and love. And so it's a great, great toy. And I met the owner guy, and I said, I think this is the best toy because, you know, with your kids today, everybody's online, right? Everybody's, you know, distracted by videos and DVDs, and what every parent wants is to connect to their kids, especially to get them through the hard years. And you buy one of these, it's $10. You get two for $20. Sit down at your table, give one to your kid, and you start doing one, I guarantee 2 hours of communication. And at the end, you know, you end up talking about what you're doing. They tell you a little bit what's going on in school. I think this is the best parenting toy that's out on the market now.
And you have it, you're going to give it to them?
Oh, why not? You can all take one of them home. Here, that's for you.
Thank you. I have one. Rosie gave me this one. I'm not putting it on eBay.
All right.
Now, Rosie, also your new DVD of your show.
Yes.
Of all the best of the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Right. What happened was, you know, people were saying, why don't you do a best of? And since it was live, it was hard. Like, I don't really remember. You know, a lot of shows are in reruns, but ours was never able to rerun because it was live, and there were some issues with clearances and whatnot. But Warner Brothers got together, and they picked the best of, and they sat me down in a studio, and they had a screen behind me, and they just played random clips. and had me talk about it. And it was very, very wild to see yourself, you know, 10 years later or 10 years earlier, talking about what was real and important to you then. And I like, it was the first time I'd seen it. Because you have to remember, a live show, that you never get to watch it. I did it, and then it was gone, and it never repeated. So a lot of them I had never seen.
Yeah. And you have something special for the audience as well with
that.
We
have one of those, too, for you. There you go.